Now I will go over the various types of vulnerability monitoring that is recommended in cloud environments and tooling options that can support this. When anything is set up, configured, or provisioned in a cloud environment, ranging from infrastructure resources to platform services to identity and access policies, it is important to verify that configurations are in accordance with security best practices. If a configuration is out of compliance with security standards, it needs to be identified as a vulnerability and remediated. A few basic examples of detecting and remediating vulnerabilities might include discovery of an IAM role that uses a policy that allows admin access, and we can change the policy to be a least privilege policy. Disk storage has been provisioned without volume encryption enabled, so we can work with teams to ensure that unencrypted disks are re-provisioned with encryption. Or a server instance has been created and configured to allow RDP connections from the public internet, so we can restrict RDP only to internal networks. AWS config provides checks that can help us identify these types of misconfigurations. AWS config collects configuration snapshots of many of the core infrastructure services that AWS provides. When config is enabled, you will have insight into how a particular resource is configured, when it is changed, and what was changed. The configuration snapshot serves as an input to rules which evaluate whether the configuration is in compliance or out of compliance with the conditions specified in the rule. Configuration snapshots can be processed by rules which evaluate whether the configuration is in compliance or out of compliance with the conditions specified in the rule. A basic example of a rule could be to identify any security group that allows RDP access from all IP addresses, or 0.0.0.0/0 on port 3389. AWS provides a decent number of rules out of the box, which are based on standard security recommendation benchmarks. Rules can be set up to evaluate on configuration change or on a cron schedule. Since all rules are based on Lambda functions, AWS provides the ability to create custom rules that evaluate a specific criteria which may not be available as a rule out of the box. This also allows custom rules which can check compliance of resources outside the fold of AWS config. Results of config rules from multiple accounts can also be sent to a central AWS account for analysis. It is strongly recommended to set up AWS config rules for any security or compliance requirements that your organization has. Security Hub is a service within AWS which aggregates findings from other security tools into a single pane of glass. Security monitoring services such as AWS Config, Inspector, GuardDuty, and many open source and commercial tools integrate findings with Security Hub. Security Hub can also be enabled to provide a turnkey set of config rules that will check the AWS account against the CIS AWS Foundations and PCI DSS checks. Outside of AWS, there are many products that can integrate into AWS accounts and monitor the security and compliance posture of your AWS account level configuration. A number of open source products can perform one-time in-depth checks and can also be set up to run on a regular cadence. Examples of open source tools include Prowler, Scout2, CloudSploit, Cloud Custodian. Some commercial products which can also provide monitoring of your cloud security footprint include Fugue, Palo Alto's Prisma Cloud, Cloud Conformity, etc. Many of these products provide a rich set of capabilities and features, including real-time detection of configuration changes in your cloud environment and automatic remediation capabilities as well. Next, we will explore methods to identify vulnerabilities within server and container-based cloud workloads.